Snake eyes and sevens, you can feel it in the air. You see your fortune and your fame. Wanna take a spin, wanna take a roll. You know you're dealing with the wild card.
Hi guys, welcome to today's video. Today we'll be going over the tier list for open world PvP dinos for 2023. Alright, so we have S tier, A tier, B tier, C tier, and D tier. So we're going to start off with the Shadowmane. Where do I want to put this? I think I'll put this at A tier. The Shadowmane, like, it's not I feel like it's not that good as people make it seem like it is, because after all the nerfs it's kind of ass, to be honest. The stun, it takes like, I think like 20 seconds or something for you to be able to stun again. On top of that, they also removed the ability for it to like tank, so it's not as good, but I mean, I guess it still does the job, sort of. Where do we want to put this? I don't even know why you would use this in PvP. Yeah, D tier. I'll put this in D tier. Because, like, alright, so it has a bleed. Like, the main thing that the Thyla has going for it is the bleed. I just don't see how you would use that in open world PvP. Alright, next we have the Crystal Wyverns. I'm going to put this at B tier. Like, they can be good, but it depends on the situation. And also, most of the times, there's not a reason you would use a Crystal Wyvern over a Lightning Wyvern, because it's just way better to kill players with it and dinos. Alright, next we have the Astrocetus. Okay. We're going to put this at D tier. Or actually, yeah, I'm just going to put this at... I'll put it at C tier. Like, maybe it has some potential. Like, I don't know how, what they would have to change, but maybe you could use this in PvP. I don't know. Actually, no, we'll just put it at D tier. It's fine. Alright, next we have the Stego. Alright, for open world PvP. Alright, I'm gonna keep it a $150. There's no way you're gonna use this in PvP. We're just gonna put this at D tier. It's fucking dog shit. Next we have the, what is this? The Fire Wyvern? Yeah, it looks like the Fire Wyvern. We're gonna put this also with the Crystal Wyverns. It can be good, but I feel like most of the time you're just gonna use the Lightning over the Fire Wyvern. I do remember that they added like they like buffed them recently, where they made the fire do more damage, I think exponentially, but still, I still think that the Lightning Wyvern is probably the best Wyvern. Like, you would always, I will probably put it in S tier, but we'll see as we go on with the list. All right, next we have Maewing. All right, this, all right, I can't really decide. I think I'll put it also in B, or where do I want to put this? I think I'll put it in B tier. And the reason I put the Maewing this high is because that, like, in early game PvP, the Maewings are really good because just like the Bloodstalker, like, they're like incredible for a source of transportation, and then you could like PvP on them. So I don't know, they're like good for early game, but I guess that's what makes them situational. So we'll just put it at B tier. Alright, Giga. This one is S tier. Obviously, if you don't know, the Giga has like the highest DPS in the game. Nothing matches it. Maybe the Karch. But as of right now, the line isn't pushed far enough where we can decide that yet. So for now, yeah, Giga's the best DPS in the game. Alright, next we have Stalker. This is A tier. This is really good for picking and really good at killing players. And the great thing about it is that you can use it on every map. Alright, next Yutyrannus for open world PvP. I want to say it has to be in B or C. Like, it has a very niche, I don't know. I guess we'll just put it at C. Like, you won't actually see it, but it does have its niche purpose. Like, I want to say it's situational, right? But like, even in that situation, like, you don't even see it anymore. The situation I was going to mention was that, like, you mostly need UDs for like Giga fights, but like Giga fights nowadays are like brain dead, so you know, it's one tap rage, so like doesn't even matter that much at that point. I feel like Giga fights were a lot better back then, but or the UDs were more important back then when Giga fights were more prevalent. But yeah, I'll just put it at C tier. Like, not even because I need to rework. I just don't think that I don't know. It's just not good. Actually, you know what? We'll put this at B tier. All right, next we have the Megalo. I'll put this at S tier. These things are like demons. At PvP, realistically, you can only really use them on Aberration, but that's where they shine anyways because of the night buff. But on Aberration, they're just demons. Like, it's the main DPS on Aberration. They also recently buffed them that their night buff is also increased, so that's pretty cool. And just like the Giga, this is basically the Giga of Aberration, because obviously you can download Gigas on Aberration. This is the best thing you're gonna get to DPS as closest to the Giga. Alright, next we have Carno. Alright, in open world PvP. Fuck it, if I put yeah, I'll just put it in D tier. Like, I don't know why you would use one of these in open world PvP. Next we have Poison Wyvern. I want to put this at, yeah, I'll just put this at A tier. So this thing's really good because it's good at killing a lot of players because you can just spam the gas, and it's mostly, I would say it's like better for larger scale PvP rather than like smaller scale PvP like 2v2s, 3v3s. I guess on 1x it's probably better. Not so much on small tribes, but it can be good. What the fuck is this? I believe this is the hawk. Fjordhawk. I'm going to put this at A tier. This thing's really good for open world PvP. Actually, I wanted to put it in S tier, but after the nerfs, it's not that great anymore. But it's still, I mean, it still has a purpose. That there's not really a reason that you wouldn't use a hawk in open world PvP because it collects your kit. That way, you don't have to leave your server, re-kit, and you can get right back into the PvP immediately after you die. So that's pretty cool. But I would for sure have put it in an S tier if it didn't get nerfed. Alright, next we have the Tuso. This thing is the best thing you're going to get for water PvP. So it's the best water DPS. This thing is also like just like the Megalo. It's the gig of the sea. And its ability to be able to pick a lot of dinos, that's also great for PvP. I think it could even pick up racers. I think dinos as big as racers and Rexes. Alright, next we have the Astrodelphis. This thing is fucking... I want to say it's S tier, but like, it's not that good anymore. But it's still really fucking good. So I'll just put it at A tier because it did get nerfed. But this thing was a straight menace when it first got added into Arc with the expansion of Gen 2. Like, this thing used to be able to like 4-tap players with just the charged balls, and it like killed PvP for a long time. But then Wildcard nerfed it, which was actually a good thing because open world PvP was basically dead for a few months when it first came out. After that, I think they nerfed it again. They made it so it couldn't like break structures. But this dino has been nerfed a lot. I do think that it's still good though. If you just level melee, it could, a good stat. Astro can get like 3k melee. Alright, next we have Mana. This is A tier. Manas used to be also just like the Astro. They used to be like fucking crazy when they first got released, but since then they've got it nerfed. But in open world PvP, I mean, they still do their job. Like, it's the coolest thing about the mana is that it has the ability to freeze things. That's what makes it great. So, I mean, you can still get kills with it and stuff, right? But like, it's just not as good as it once was. Like, before the nerfs, there used to be able to like stay in the air. You would be able to do infinite dashes until you run out of stamina. But now you have to. You're able to dash once. You have to hit the ground, and then you could do another dash once you land. Which, I mean, I guess that was good balancing. That way, manas don't just dominate in the sky, because otherwise you would have been able to like stay in the sky almost forever, or at least until you ran out of stam. and it basically made other flying dinos useless. All right, next we have the RG. This is actually going to be our first C tier on the list, but for sure, I think that the RG needs a buff. Make it like faster or something, cause it's kind of slow. I ain't gonna lie. And honestly, it gets outperformed by almost every dino. Like you have stalkers for picking, you have Shadowmanes for dismounting. Like the RG is just like kind of useless now. All right, next we have the tape. Where do you want to put this? I guess we'll put it with also at C tier. For open world PvP, this thing's actually I think even slower. Actually, I think they're about the same speed as an RG. Actually, these things might be quicker. Don't quote me on that. I haven't even flown an RG since 2019 or something. But there's not really a reason to use a tape for picking, like over like a PT or something, because they're just too slow. On top of that, you can whip them. All right, next we have the Deinonychus. All right, I don't even know how the hell you would use this in PvP. This is for sure D tier. Like, I don't know how you could use it. Maybe like the latch. That's not even that good, to be honest. All right, next we have the roll rat. How do I want to put this? I want to put this at. Oh heck, I'll just put it at B tier. So like they're actually kind of good from what I seen. I seen like some clips where they do like they get like kills with the roll rat, but it's like in a meme way where they like run them over with the saddle. I guess it can be good because it actually like if you just max out all the points into melee, it's probably fucking cracked, to be honest. I ain't gonna lie. But it has a very niche purpose. Like, next we have the woolly rhino. This thing used to be cracked when like SC was like every SC was taken or built. But the rhinos only really shine when they're in like flat ground or flat terrain. The moment there's like mountains and shit, these things are like terrible. On top of that, I believe that they nerfed them, that like it takes even longer for the charge to build up, so they're not as good anymore as they once were. So I would definitely put it at B tier because maybe like they're still good in like that certain situation where they excel, like for raging gigas and stuff, but they're just not the meta anymore. All right, next we have lightning wyvern. I'll put this at S tier. This thing is the best DPS for killing players. The only drawback to the wyvern is that it has friendly fire. So if you get like net gunned or tech punched and you beam, you're going to kill yourself most of the time. But other than that, this thing is nasty. All right, next we have the Baryonyx. I want to put this at B tier. So you only use it in a specific situation if you're like doing like underwater PvP. But in that specific situation, this thing is fucking insane. Like, you could just keep stun locking. If you don't already know, the Baryonyx it can dismount and stun lock, and you could just keep doing it constantly until you kill a player. And it's pretty much a wrap from there once you get stunned. All right, next we have the Lymantria. I'm going to put this C tier for open world PvP because recently they made them breedable, so I guess that makes them. I mean, I guess you could use them for PvP because now, like, I don't know, you could breed like health and melee. But as far as I know, like the only real use to this thing is that to the Mothic is that you can squirt out like it squirts out a gas and it slows you down. It's mostly like a support dino, to be honest, but I don't know. They made it like if they added like some damage capability, this thing would actually be kind of cracked. On top of that, they can eat cakes, which I guess doesn't really matter, but that's pretty cool. It's one of the only flyers that can eat cakes. All right, next we have the Velonasaur or Velo.
2,000 years later.
An open world PvP. The thing about the Velo is that in order to use it, you have to stand still, and there's like almost no situation in PvP where you stand still. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna put this at D tier. Like, there's nothing you can really change about the Velo that will make it good in open world PvP because it's just not mobile, and you can't really change anything to that because it is just a sitting duck basically. All right, the next thing is the Desmo or the Bat. This thing is fucking crazy. S tier for sure. All right, next we have the Griffin. We'll put this at B tier. Actually, you know what? We'll put it at C tier. Yeah, we'll just put it at C tier. So basically, Griffins aren't really bad, like in the sense like for like arc wipes, they're good, but like on official where like lines have been like pushed and stuff, the Griffin is basically useless because it's like since you can't breed them, they're like glass cannons, and there's so many better dinos to use. So yeah, C tier. All right, Allosaurus. This one's also C tier. Before like the Thyla and the Carno got like the bleed buff, the Allo used to be the only dinosaur that could bleed, so it was pretty useful back then, but it's basically useless now because you need 2 Allos or like the pack bonus for it to be able to bleed, which is kind of useless. Because the Thyla you don't need that. Likewise with Carno. I think if they buffed it where they made it where you only need one Allo to bleed, it would be better. And maybe give it something else, like a slow or something. And maybe it would be good in open world PP. Alright, next we have the Theria. I guess I'll put it at A. If you like get them to like 2k melee, these things pretty much one tap. Alright, next we have PT. I think this one for open world PvP, maybe you could still use a PT. Realistically, we'll just put it at B tier. The thing is, like, maybe you could still, like, PvP with them, like, for, like, picking and stuff, but, like, there's so many other better dinos to use. But the PT isn't completely useless. Like, if you're cracked at, like, picking and stuff, maybe you can, like, get devious with it. But, yeah, the main problem is that everyone has, like, fed suits, so most of the time no one's even carrying parachutes in their kits anymore, because you just have, like, fed suits. And then you just have a bunch of duped tech suits. So pretty much no one's like running full flak these days. If they were to remove fed suits and like do like a tech suit, right, maybe PTs would be used more. And they would be pretty good. Alright, next we have the Ferox. This one is B tier as well. Before the Shadowmane was added, this thing was good for quite some time. It was added on when Gen 1 was released. And basically, you have to like feed an element, and when it gets big, it can like dismount. So it was like decent for like dismounting. I mean, it wasn't even remotely close to as good as the Shadowmane ever was, but it was alright. I mean, maybe you could probably still use it now. The good thing about it is that it's a shoulder pet, so like it has some potential. All right, the next thing we have is the Quetzal. This is also C tier. I don't know why in open world PvP you would use a Quetzal for PvP. This thing is incredibly slow, and it does like no damage, or it doesn't really bring anything to the table as far as like for open world PvP. Actually, I might even put this just at D tier. Like I don't think you could fix it, like, because if they just made it faster, then it might like be game breaking. But I don't know. I'll just put it at D tier. It's not. This Quetzal will never really be good for open world PvP. All right, the next we have the Andrewsarchus. Alright, so for open world PvP, you could use like the turret. From what I've seen, it's alright. It's not too crazy. We'll put it at B tier. What would make it better is if the turret was like automated, like where it would shoot players like a heavy turret. So that way you would have like a mobile turret on the go, but that's not the case, unfortunately. Alright, next we have the Void Worm. This one's A tier. This one's really good for open world PvP because it can dismount, just like the Shadowmane, but except that this one isn't a Wyvern. Alright, last but not least, we have the Fenrir. Alright, so the Fenrir, I think we'll just put it at C tier. I haven't even used one, but I think that already says a lot. They're not really meta. From what I've seen, that they can their only real purpose is to just preserve wyvern milk. They do have a freeze ability or like a slow ability, but it seems kind of like it's just basically a copy of the owl. Like I don't know why you would use a Fenrir over an owl at that point if you need a support dino, because it has the ability to fly and stuff. Also, that reminds me, I didn't put a snow owl on this list, but if I was going to, it probably would have been in B tier. But yeah, I just noticed that I didn't include it, which was on my end. Thank you guys for watching today's video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe.